Now let's talk about what really happened between the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and the soldier in Abuja, because beyond the shouting and the shoving, this incident says a lot about how power is abused in Nigeria. So first, the FCT Minister is a political appointee, an administrator of the capital on behalf of the president. Yes, he represents the president in Abuja, but that doesn't make him the final authority or the last chain of command. He remains an employee of the federal government, not an elective executive. So that distinction matters because it explains why Wike should never have been caught in a situation where he is verbally assaulting a military officer. His job is to make policies, to direct agencies and communicate it through official channels, not to storm a site personally. Now let's look at what happened on that land. The officer on duty told the minister he was acting under orders, and that should have immediately ended the confrontation because as a former governor and a seasoned politician, Wike understands what order means. Every trained officer in uniform works under a chain of command. The first rule in the military is to obey the last lawful command, even when you don't understand the full details. So, if that officer had shown weakness or bowed to intimidation, he would have done more damage to our security image than we can imagine. Imagine a soldier abandoning his post because a politician raised his voice. That would have been a terrible signal, not just to the troops under him, but to the entire country already struggling to convince the world that Nigeria can protect our citizens. And now let's not forget, the military shouldn't even be protecting private property in the first place. Their role is national defense, not land enforcement. Yet the irony is that in Nigeria, the same military is used in demolishing people's homes. So why wouldn't you use them to protect private buildings? That is what happens when the rule of law collapses. Institutions begin to serve individuals instead of the constitution. Now, some people argue that the FCT minister is like the governor of Abuja. That is inaccurate. Unlike a governor, the FCT minister has a superior, the president. He cannot command the police or the military. His role is administrative, not executive. So comparing Wike to a state governor is like comparing a branch manager to the CEO. One answers to the other. And as a student of history, let me remind us of a moment when the same Nyesom Wike supported security forces who locked the governor of Rivers State, Sim Fubara, out of his own office. He called it the rule of law. So the question is, what changed? The law hasn't changed, only the person on the receiving end. But here's the bigger issue. In no civilized society would a serving minister publicly insult a citizen, let alone a uniformed officer, and still keep his position. It is a violation of ethics of public service. The minister's outburst didn't just undermine the military. It emboldened the crowd around him to start shoving, physically confronting soldiers. That kind of behavior reflects total administrative indiscipline. And let's be honest, the FCT minister didn't need to personally move into a property to prove it's working. That is intimidation in itself. Real leadership works through system, not spectacles. Before any demolition or reclamation, that area must first be declared government property by the court or relevant agencies. Until then, it remains private space. So marching in with a convoy, cameras and officials without due clearance is not governance, it is coercion. So the truth here is, this is not just about a piece of land. This is about what Nigeria has become. A place where systems are weak. A place where everybody wants to be above accountability. And until we fix that, until our government officials recognize and respect authorities, until our military understand they are serving the constitution, not individuals, we will keep watching these embarrassing dramas play out on a national stage. Nigeria deserves better. It is the truth at the time. Take care and have a nice day.